Hi folks, it's been a while since I actually made an original video with something actual to say. Spent a little time, puffing up other people's channels and reposting stuff and etc. etc. But a little light on the actual content on my channel in the last 6 months, so I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of actual content. A lot of you know that I earn a significant portion of my income by removing malware from Windows machines. And today, when I was working on removing a particularly stubborn piece of malware from a customer machine, it occurred to me that there were some similarities between this piece of malware and something else that I have a tendency to talk about on YouTube. So I'd like to start this video out by first discussing a little bit about this particular piece of malware that I spent several hours this morning fighting. This particular piece of malware gets itself installed on your machine by any number of several web browsing drive-by hijacks kind of things. I don't know how it got on this particular machine or not, but in general I've seen this on a bunch of machines, and I think it uses several techniques to do so. But all of which are kind of nefarious and underhanded and don't really involve the consent of the user, or the true informed consent of the user, because no user is ever going to consent to this thing if they really understood what it was about to do. So what does this program do? Well, once it gets installed on your machine, it masquerades as antivirus. And the first thing that it does is it goes around and it shuts down all real antivirus, because any one of those real antivirus programs could possibly do something about it if it could run long enough. I know for certain that it will shut down at least 3 or 4 of the most major antivirus software, including the ones that are on the vast majority of machines out there. Once it has those shut down, the next thing that it does is it changes the file associations for executable files, so that rather than being actual executable applications that it executes, it instead considers them to be a data file, which uses as a helper application, or an application that's supposed to load them, uses the malware itself as the loading application. So when you go to read an executable file and do something with it, instead of actually loading that program into memory, it loads another copy of the malware into memory, which immediately says, "Oh my God, this executable is infected. It can't be run," and shuts it down. Now, the reasoning behind this is obvious. I mean, it does 2 things for them. One, it makes it seem like everything on their machine is infected, and oh no, we've got to do something about it. And the other thing is that it prevents them from loading up any program that might actually tell them what the real infection is. Because they don't want you to have some idea how to fix this. And then the next thing that it does is it goes into your Internet Explorer settings and resets Internet Explorer, and it also works for Firefox, resets your web browser to use a proxy server rather than to directly connect to the internet like most people are set to be done. Most people do not run through a proxy server. A proxy server works by basically saying, instead of you going out and getting the information, you ask somebody for the information. You ask the proxy goes and gets you the information, the proxy then gives it to you, and so it puts a man in the middle. Well, this proxy happens to be the malware itself, located on your machine, Most proxies are a different machine somewhere, but no, this one is a proxy on your machine. So the side effect of this proxy is that everything that you do on the internet, every piece of information that you ask for, is filtered through the lens of this malware. They can prevent you from ever seeing anything that might help you to fix the malware, and they can prevent you from downloading any program that might help you to fix the malware. And they can instead, every time that you're trying to find that, they can instead direct you to things that make it seem like the malware is really working. And if you just pay them for it, if you just give some money to this malware, they'll fix everything for you. Now, I have no idea whether this particular piece of malware will actually fix itself if you pay them money, but somehow I doubt it. So you've got a program that has, in many ways, done a whole bunch of things to make sure that your information flow is impeded, that you cannot make your own decisions anymore. You're not allowed to decide what you're running. It's deciding what you're running. You're not allowed to decide what web pages you look at. It's deciding what web pages you look at. Effectively, it's a religion. You've got the priest proxy server, who acts as a go-between between a religious person and the outside world. You've got this, all of this, insulation between facts that run counter to the dogma of a religion. The assumption as well, that must be coming from the devil. Oh, that's malware. Don't run that program. That program's malware. Don't run evolution, that's from Satan. All the way down to, programs that most of us, take for granted. Task Manager. I mean, that's day-to-day life. Don't have sex, that's from the devil. You need sex, it's part of us. You need Task Manager in Windows, it's part of Windows. To prevent you from going there is counter to the very nature of the activity in question. No sex, counter to life. It's anti-life. No Task Manager, it's counter to the user having their own computer. It just doesn't work. So I'm not going to go in too much deeper onto why I see these things as similar, but I'd be interested in some more comments. I'd be interested in hearing if somebody else has seen a similar sort of association between malware and religion. Now, I didn't come up with this basic idea entirely on my own. I mean, this comes out of the idea of religion as a meme, or as a mind virus, or as something else. It comes out of the idea that religion is software that is running on the human wetware computer. None of these ideas are mine. Okay, I really want to make clear that I am only just kind of piecing together some information from disparate places on my own in a way that I hadn't really heard other people do before. So, tell me, is religion like malware? Is there any truth to these similarities? Does this actually say anything? Or am I really totally off base? Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Later.